Good morning, everybody. Welcome to DCC Today. Happy Friday to you. We're going to start off. Our photo of the day will be from Andy Davidson and one he took out at John Wayne Marina. And it is crisp and cold out there this time of year. I mentioned on Wednesday about the change that is coming to this program coming up on Friday, December 18th, that this format's going to come to an end. We're going to take a little break over the Christmas holiday, but then we're going to be back on Thursdays. And we're going to have two programs on Thursdays. In the morning, there will be a live stream program, and that will kind of catch you up on the latest news and things going on around here at the church. And then on Thursday evenings at 7 o'clock, we're going to have a deep dive program. We will take turns as staff just digging into various topics that we want to share with you, different areas of our ministry, concerns we may have, thoughts, interviews. And so that'll be starting up in the new year, Thursdays, live at 10, the dive at 7. And I think you're going to enjoy that, just a little change up in our programming for this. This Sunday, of course, we'll be continuing our study of the book of Job, and we do not have in-person services yet, but we will be online, and so I hope that you can join us on Sunday for that. And don't forget that if you haven't finished it yet, I challenged you last Sunday to think through, pray through, and write down a Thanksgiving plan. How are you going to give yourself in 2021 in your time, your treasure, your talents as an act of thanks to God? And so along with that, as you write those plans down, I'd love to see what you come up with. And if you could email that to me, I would love to see them. So just send it to tim@dcchurch.org. Also, don't forget about the We Care coupons that we're making available. You can pick those up on the table that is outside the main doors of the auditorium, or contact the office and we'll mail some to you. The idea is that you take these little coupons and go and make as many purchases as you can this Christmas season from our local restaurants, local merchants, and when you pay for your order, give them one of those coupons as just a witness to say, hey, we're the family of Dungeness Community Church, and we care about you, we are praying for you, and we want to help you in what has been a very difficult year. And then the Advent Conspiracy, and this is where we are encouraging us as a church family to come together in an act of generous giving to support both some local organizations that are helping our community, as well as supporting the global initiative of Living Water International that brings both clean drinking water and the gospel to needy communities. The local organizations that we want to support are the Obria Pregnancy Resource Center, the Squim Food Bank, Clallam Mosaic that supports families that have physical and developmental disabilities, the Lilies of the Valley Home, which is a Christ-centered halfway house for women in recovery, and In Faith, which is loving and sharing Christ with our immigrant community here on the Olympic Peninsula. So we together, I think, can do something that will really bless these organizations in a year when many of them have seen severe drop-offs in their giving. And so let's do that together. Just go to dcchurch.org, click on the Advent Conspiracy banner there, and let us know how you'd like to give. Well, devotional thought for today comes from Psalm 56, verses 3 and 4. David says, "When I am afraid, I put my trust in you. In God, whose word I praise, in God I trust. I shall not be afraid. What can flesh do to me?" You know why I think David wrote that psalm? I think he wrote that psalm because he was afraid. And in fact, he was worried about what people might do to him. But he stopped himself short and he preached himself a little sermon. And he reminded himself that the place to put his trust was in God. The place to put his praise was in God. The place to focus his attention was on God. And that when he got his heart, his mind fixed on the one who is eternal, it suddenly put everything else back in better perspective. And he suddenly realized that there wasn't a need to be afraid, and that it didn't matter what other people might say or do. He had put his faith in someone who was eternal and would never fail him. So if you need to preach yourself a little sermon today, there's a good place to start. Well, we're going to have our final segment of Glenn Brown's life story. So let's listen to Glenn now.
On June the 24th, 2008, last year, Donna and I celebrated our 50th wedding anniversary. This has been a great half century. God knew the kind of woman that I needed, and I probably have survived much of my brushes with death due to Mama Doc, or Dr. Mom, as she's referred to sometimes. She has been diligent in doing those things that she thinks might prolong my life. So Donna has been a blessing, but not just in that fashion. She has blessed our home with music. She's a trained musician and has played in various churches, piano and organ, and she will practice on her grand piano, and it resounds throughout the house. And she has filled my life with music in more ways than one. So I'm very appreciative of this godly woman that God has given me to share my life with. And I've become particularly more appreciative of Donna as I've grown older, and realize in so many ways what she has contributed to our life together. In January 7th, 2008, I celebrated my 80th birthday. I can remember as a young man wondering if possibly I would ever see the next century. And now we're into almost the end of the first decade of that new century. And I look back over 80 years and am so grateful to God. I'm particularly grateful for family. My family is, as I've mentioned, is very close. We get together whenever. This has been a blessing that I treasure supremely. And yet, even as much as I treasure it, in a sense, it is only a dim shadow of the blessing that I have of being part of the family of God, of knowing that there's a future in Jesus Christ, that we have a hope beyond the here and now. Because as I've shared, those family ties get broken by death, and the circle becomes smaller. But the anticipation of a place where the circle will never again be broken is a joyous kind of hope that God has given us. And so we press on. There have been sorrowful times, there have been hurting times, but as Paul says in Romans 8, that the day is coming when the sufferings of the present time will seem as nothing in comparison to the glory which shall be revealed to us in whatever God has planned for us. It's going to be beyond anything we can probably even imagine here and now, but then it will be reality in its fullest sense. And so we press on. I just want to be faithful. Don't know how many years that God will continue to give to Donna and I, but we want to make them count for His kingdom. And so I say to all of the family members that might someday see this, I love you. You've meant a tremendous amount to me down through the years, and we look forward to any opportunity we have to share and be with you, and knowing that eventually we'll all be together in the great unbroken circle that God provides for His own children.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed hearing Glenn's story again. What a great guy, what a great life, and what a blessing he was to me over the years. He is greatly missed. Well, that's it for today. I hope that we'll see you online, or you'll see us online Sunday morning for church. And we'll be back here again Monday morning with DCC Today. And until then, be blessed.